That's my epic tale. A champion prevailed, defeated the villain. Now pour him some ale. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh, toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh, toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty. Oh, toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome again to another Wednesday here with The Witcher. Everyone, we've got an exciting game for you today. Everyone's hunkered down inside. The siege is on. If you're watching this at a later date, this is during the COVID-19 incident. So we're having fun though. We can always sit around the table because of our sponsor, Roll20, www.roll20.net. Roll20 is where it's at, everyone. We get to play and be with our friends. You do as well. So if you go to our sponsor right now, type in www.roll20.net/start/Tales from the Grim. You'll be able to start your very own free account today. All the friends you wanted to sit with around the wooden table this weekend, make your own virtual one. D&D, Wildmount has just dropped on Roll20, Cthulhu, and of course, our very own Witcher. Have your Tales at the Continent, Faerun, wherever you would like, but make sure you keep playing because telling stories during this time is exactly what is needed. Imagination, creativity, friendship, and kindness. Those are our trade right now, and we must be the best at our craft that we can. And so, everybody, as we get ready to play another episode of Family of Wraiths, we have talked about Roll20. We also talk about the people that are powering this system, Artausorian Games. Artausorian is giving away a copy of the PDF Core Rulebook. Someone in chat will win the PDF Core Rulebook tonight. I am making a note of everybody that is in here, and so make sure, if you would like a bit of that PDF action, for whatever reason, Streamlabs has taken away the giveaway function for the time being after the last update. That doesn't mind. I would like you right now just to type in chat, Witcher. Witcher, and that's it. I will go back and make sure everybody is entered. Pick somebody at random to be the winner of this great system that you can sit back and read, play with your friends, and do so on Roll20, if I may be so bold as to suggest it. Now, to the story at hand, everybody. We have 5 separate characters that were brought together because of their shared friendship with a fallen witcher named Ezekon of Kreve. Ezekon knew each of them, traveled with each of them, adventured with each of them, and they were all invited to the funeral. Upon meeting and upon discussing their various exploits and lives, they came to realize that they were all drawn into a circle of events that centered on Ezekon, a tale, if you will, a mystery. They've begun to answer questions that they have been asking of one another, but it's more necessary to figure out their way forward than to truly understand what happened in the past. Each of them have their own objectives, and much like the video game Witcher, The Wild Hunt, experience is not awarded for defeating a monster, though it can be. They are given missions, both privately and as part of the group. And whenever they complete those missions, they are awarded IP, which is the same as experience points here in the Witcher system. Right now, they are in the city of Hangsfor. They have many, many obstacles against them, but they do have a path forward. They have several items they need to check off their list, including figuring out a mysterious stone, meeting a few people of interest. A couple of them have some private things they need to do as well. But the enemy is also here. Their noose is tightening. Who will figure out the mystery first? Not sure, but I think it's best we bring in our characters and see what they have to say. My friends, welcome back to the Witcher family of Wraiths. You are in the city of Hangsfor. You have the city and the world really open to you. I simply ask at this time, what do you do?
I guess this is the morning after.
You have awoken. This is the morning after. Dusa, your leg is killing you.
Yes, especially after kneeling. Yeah, Dusa's gonna wait for the others. He's gonna sharpen his blade and have some breakfast.
And we as a group do not yet know that Varan did hydromancy to try to find Jeffers, because that happened at the night as well.
You do not. Also, everybody, I will do a meta moment as we welcome Gabe James Games, who is in chat. I played with Gabe last night. If you would like to check out that VOD over at Wandering DM, I can just say that it was the most impressive role in the history of our Taustorian Games Witcher. That is not an understatement at all. Go check out that VOD. It's amazing. It's a shared story that we have over at Wandering DM. So anything that happens on the Witcher Legacy can affect the Witcher family of Wraiths here and vice versa. So everyone, if you want more Witcher in your life, there's a good place to jump to. And back to the action.
Ezra will say, so Trinian, your leg does not look better. It is not improved. We should perchance attempt to find some sort of doctor.
Yeah, I'll look a bit self-conscious at that and look at the leg and nod. Yes, I think you're right. It's hurting like hell.
Though methinks breakfast may not go amiss.
Yes. It smells good. Should be cooking up something.
Pardon, thou shouldst go down below, and I shall gather up our party for breakfast.
Right. So we'll sheath his 6-foot sword.
Sheath. Like,
Yes. It's not on the back. I don't think it's on the back. I don't think you could pull a 6-foot sword from the back. He's just carrying it in his hands. He actually balances on his shoulder. That's the way I've seen them carry it. And he just walks off.
and Ezra will make sure that he is appropriately dressed, that he's well put together, and that the room is not left messy. And then he will sort of knock on the doors of both of the other two rooms where our companions are. He'll say, Mistress Varan?
You wouldn't get an answer. She's in there.
He would knock. And then he would go to the other door. Master Wim? Master Adrian?
You hear heavy snoring.
Would knock just a tad heavier. He would try the door, but not step inside. Just see if the door is unlocked.
Wim didn't lock it. Did you? It's
Um,
unlocked.
Not being in the line of fire, in case their normal and natural behavior towards someone opening the door is to throw axes at them. He'll stand out of the way, open the door.
Wim's still snoring.
Poke his head around the corner.
Two knives come no. You see Aris is just sat there, cross-legged, back against the wall on the bed, reading.
Lord Adrian, breakfast?
Without looking up, he just says, "Leave it on the mantle."
No, I meant that you should join us for breakfast.
He glances over to Wim and... Yeah, I suppose I might as well eat before he eats.
No, as should he.
I will take the book and I just hurl the book at Wim.
Where are you aiming? I'm gonna make you roll too.
Oh. I'm about that. I'm about that life. Let's do this.
So do you throw it randomly or do you call?
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
shot?
throw random.
Give yourself a +5 because this is an ambush.
Fantastic. What am I rolling to?
Probably dexterity, right?
This
Do
feels
you
like
have
a
thrown
dexterity.
weapons?
Does it count as thrown? I don't think thrown weapons is a.
Give me 1 second. I'll give you something. I'll actually, be the DM here and give you something too.
Archery under Dex?
No, let's do.
How about dexterity athletics?
Yeah. Let's do athletics because athletics, I believe, is throwing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go brawling.
No, let's do athletics.
Okay. So, I do this just randomly as I'm gonna. That's a 22.
If you would, I'll do it for you. I can roll the.
It's an 8. It's a leg. It's a leg.
Okay, we'll say high right leg. Like
In the
upper
thigh.
thigh, right?
Yeah.
It makes impact, and he. What the hell was that?
I immediately point to Eris.
Was that necessary?
You want breakfast?
Yeah, but it could maybe a shake next time.
I tried that.
I ain't slept in a bed for so long. My body needed it.
That's fair. Your body also needs some cooked breakfast that we haven't made ourselves. Because that sounds mighty good to me and you're holding up.
It sounds great. He stretches. Rolls himself out of bed, picks up the book, tosses it back at Aris.
It just falls. Like, Aris just steps out of the way. It doesn't... I know it's like an underarm throw, but he just moves out of the way and walks over to Ezrin and says, what's on the menu?
I know not. Master Wim, perhaps...
Pants.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
He pulls off the sheets. Oh, I sleep in my arm.
Well, gentlemen, I will see you downstairs. He just heads downstairs.
Well, time to go. Get some grub.
Yeah.
And not be recognized.
Yeah, you real blend in. Flawless.
Hey, no one's seen me without a beard in fucking 60 years.
Yeah. When was the last time someone saw you out of armor? Because you're pretty ripe.
Probably. At least.
It's a rhetorical question, Wim. Wash yourself. And Aris heads out the door.
Sounds like a task for after breakfast.
As Eris and Wim are leaving the room, Dusa, roll me an endurance roll, please. And you're muted, bud.
For my leg or what?
Oh, yeah, just an endurance roll.
Just an endurance roll. Oh. Right, endurance. Just give me a sec. I was totally elsewhere. There we go. Endurance. And that would be under, I guess, body. Yes. It's an 18.
I would like everyone else that's in the inn to roll me an
Uh-oh.
awareness check.
No. Oh.
Magic number here is 15.
18.
And a critical, which you may roll more if you'd like to hear at the subatomic level, but with a 31, Wim, you're the first one to pick it up, even though you're the furthest away. It sounds like someone falling down the stairs.
Uh-oh.
And he'll immediately go towards the sound.
The rest of you would hear it as well. There's only one, that, as far as you know, there's only one set of stairs that leads up in the Tipsy Penguin. You're sure there's probably some type of, workers only or employees only way to get up to the second floor, but you haven't been privy to that. When you get to the stairs at the landing where it curves and heads down into the great room, Dusa is laying in a pile. His leg has given out completely.
Look
No.
at the fuck happened to you? You alright?
Am I conscious?
You're awake.
I'm awake, but in pain.
Do you wish you weren't awake? This is more the.
Yeah, he looks at you. I wish I wasn't awake right now. Oh, God. Ugh.
Let's get you up. And he'll extend a hand.
I'll take it.
And then he'll put his right arm across his torso and then take his arm, put it over his shoulder. How's that? Feel better?
So I'm on your shoulder now?
He's trying to
fireman's
support.
Oh, I'm
trying to
over.
support
Okay,
you.
around your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just need to keep the weight off it.
Well,
Fuck, I need to see a doctor, man.
Yeah.
you want to do that now or you want to get some breakfast? Huh?
Oh, yeah, I just will get some breakfast first. It's probably gonna cut off my leg.
Ezrin, roll a deduction roll for me, please.
That I can do. One hopes. I mean, I can, but 16.
You remember seeing something in the saddlebags of Ezekon of Kreve's horse that might be able to help out Dusa in this particular situation.
I also have things in my medicine bag or my messenger bag, depending. I'm not going to make a deal about this because I know that Dusa does not seem the type that likes big deals being made about things. So not to sort of draw attention. So I'm just going to sort of nod to the innkeep as I head to the stables to check the medicine, the saddlebags to see what I can get in there.
Okay, and I'm sending to you in Zoom what it is.
I'm going to sort of take this thing and wrap it up sort of in my cloak. So it's just not obvious what I've got about me. And I'm going to sort of make my way back into the inn to where Dusa is. I presume he's been brought to a chair.
Yeah, to the kitchen, I guess. I mean, to the dining room.
And I say, and I just sort of lean into him, and I say, Sir Trinian, if this might be of use, this belonged to Ezekon. And I sort of just open the cloak a little bit to show the leg brace, perhaps temporarily.
And Dusa will, seeing the leg brace, will think back to that night 100 years ago when Ezekon got his leg slashed by a vampire. He'll look at it and he'll look at Ezrin, who he saw stalking the battlefield as one, and look away and start putting on the brace.
JF, mechanically, what this will do for you is it'll return you to that. I think we had -1 body was where you currently were. You can still support the leg at this point. You're definitely going to need to see a doctor to kind of get it on the way to be fully healed. But the brace will prevent you from having another incident where the leg completely gives out.
All right. And groaning, he'll start eating his meal, which would consist of, I guess, some ale for breakfast and lots of cheese and bread and salty fish.
Have any of you seen Mistress Veron?
Oh, she had a room to herself, right?
I knocked, but she answer not.
Nope. Perhaps knock harder?
With that statement of knocking harder, one of the employees that doesn't live on site opens the front door, exposing the interior of the Tipsy Penguin to the exterior and the bright day in Hangsfor. And our camera goes through that door as the group is sitting there testing leg braces, drinking ale, beginning their day. And as it whips across and over the city, this is a river town with a large river running to it and beyond. And as we have this Griffin's eye view, where do we find Veron?
Probably at the highest point she can find, just staring at the sea as the river dumps into it. It's where she wants to be. And it brings back positive memories, so she's happier here. Also someplace quiet and away from the tavern, because she has some business that's not necessarily best done in mixed company.
And so what we'll say is you are currently on the top of a granary that has several silos that kind of work to provide caravans with storage, foodstuffs for the winter, grains for livestock, anything that could be sold here at the granary. You are able to make your way up before dawn. The sea itself cannot be seen from this distance, but the large river extends further to the west, and though sky meets mountain, you can see the pass through which the river flows. You know that space and that sky and that cut through the mountain leads to the open waters. Perhaps the breeze comes from there. Regardless, it is buffeting your hair as you stand there, as you said.
She just turns into the air and the breeze for a moment and closes her eyes and lets it calm her. And then just a moment though, she shakes her head and hardens herself and turns back to the pile of things that she has brought and whispers loud, well, quietly, but probably loud enough that the wind could take it. I've seen you now. Should have hidden from me better. And she's going to use this time to cast
Sure.
a hex.
You don't have to give anything away that you don't want to. But if you could tell us what this would look like, this hex.
It's interesting. It doesn't require ingredients like a ritual does, but she's laid out a couple things just for herself. A feather from a pillow, a piece of leather that she carries with her, and she just focuses and starts chanting over it, focusing on Jeffers And she refuses to call him Jeffers of Kreve. That's not a name for him. It's not a name he's earned.
There's no connection, no arcane link. But he's clear in your mind.
Mm-hmm. And she has seen him, and she knows what he looks like, and he knows where he is, roughly. That he's here. And that's all that's necessary.
And as is the way and wont of hexes, you complete your intent. But again, there's no link. There's no bell, no light that goes off to tell you that something has happened or hasn't happened. It's just no longer a part of you. That bit of magic released. Perhaps it found Jeffers.
She'll sigh, pick up the bit of leather, tie it back around her wrist, pick up the feather, hold it up into the breeze, and blow towards the ocean, and let it drift.
It doesn't do the full Forrest Gump, but it catches a bit.
Why not?
And it flies. And it lingers more over Hangsforth than it does heading towards any points unknown. But you lose sight of it when it goes around one of the granary silos.
She'll sigh and just gesture with a hand and teleport herself back to the door of the Tipsy Penguin.
And there you are. In fact, as the employee walks into the Tipsy Penguin and beers being had and braces being fitted, before the door even closes, a flash comes across the frame. And before it closes, if you wish to enter, Veron, your hand would stop it from shutting.
Yes, she would walk in and see everyone sitting around. Well then, breakfast?
Indeed, well met, Mistress Ron. And he will sort of gesture to the seat that has been left open for you.
Thank you. I feel that I should warn you that our unpleasant friend is in the city.
Doesn't friend have a name?
And she'll just kind of look pointedly at Deuce's leg.
Ah. That unpleasant friend. Oh.
I wonder why he's here.
He also has another friend here. And he's taking to accessorizing.
So
What does that mean?
I mean,
Are any of you wearing your medallions visible?
no.
Whim is.
There's some subtleties that just go. He's still wearing his armor and everything. He looks out of place. He doesn't have a cover up.
Okay.
I'm not in any armor at all. Medallion tucked away. Have sort of like a cloak around me, very nondescript. Also not carrying my swords at the moment. Have knives on me, but
yeah. Veron would just look at the medallion that Wim is wearing and say, he seems to like accessorizing like you do, Master Tim. Although his choice of figurine is different.
But I have to wear this. I'm not. It's just not.
I suggest possibly we stick with the idea of disguising ourselves. Looking at Wim. Medallion.
I shaved me beard. What else you want me to do?
How about we try to pass ourselves off as men-at-arms, escorting a bard.
Nope.
Tuscadaris.
This armor is unique to my school. Anyone who knows of a bear school will recognize this armor, so you want me to not wear the one thing that makes me me?
Well, not if it's going to attract a whole shitstorm of trouble.
I don't know that there's a good answer for this one.
Wim looks at one of the employees of the inn. I ask you a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I come from down south, and I'm thinking about running an inn myself. How much do you pay for your bed sheets?
I clean them. I don't buy them. A crown, perhaps.
All right. He walks over, puts a crown, walks upstairs into his room. A couple minutes later, you hear some wrestling around and a curse, and then you come down and you see the sheet on him, a hole where his head is, and then the sheet is tucked in various places in his armor haphazardly. Wait, how about this?
It's a look.
You want to make a roll?
What are you going for? Are you trying to mimic something, or?
Nope, I'm just trying
He's just invented the poncho.
Poncho, toga, it's a look. He's got a look going on. It's,
So trying to tuck it in to make it seem like it's a choice.
It is a choice.
Roll me a disguise roll.
Wait, disguise or grooming and style? Because wait, what's disguise?
Are you making yourself look better, or are you making yourself look like somebody different?
I already
does
look
that other
different
person
'cause I don't
also
have
look
a
good?
beard.
Well, you're not doing grooming, and there's no style present, so I think that's a disguise roll.
I'm gonna go with disguise.
I don't know why I was arguing. It's the same.
Eris was a good burn right there.
It's a strong 9.
You look good.
I look good.
Well, how about a big cloak or something?
Have a cloak.
Master Tim?
We could stop somewhere and buy one.
Aye.
There are people, yes, we can get some things for you. We can also see about finding a gentleman to tend to Master Trinian's leg.
That
Baron,
seems
what-
the most important.
What was the trinket? Also, just out of character, is it cold enough that when you walk outside you can see your breath?
Yes.
Perhaps perhaps the vision that Master Trinian saw was not in the old school, but here.
Who knows? It's possible. It's cold. And the individual was wearing a, something I'd never seen before.
Which was?
Like,
A dragon.
He was wearing a dragon.
could we roll richer knowledge for that, Greg? Or
Sure, yeah.
because that might be familiar, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, critical. Yes, baby.
What is you? You roll. That's your fourth critical in a roll in a row, by the way, for winter
You know, it's
knowledge.
fucking karma, man. I've had some bad rolls too.
You have.
Yeah, there we go.
So 23, and Eris, you had a 23 as well.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have,
the
we have great Witcher tomes in Carceran.
The two of you reach a conclusion pretty quickly throughout all of your study, where you've heard of the school of the Manticore that supposedly comes from far to the west beyond the Blue Mountains. There's also rumors of, albeit ancient, schools that had different icons, none of which has been recorded for history. Not once in all of your reading or teaching have you heard of a dragon.
Point of order.
Strange.
JF, just check your PM. Your PM.
The PM?
Mm-hmm. On the
Yeah. Okay. Oh yes, I remember seeing one. It was about a century ago. We fought that vampire.
Mm.
And we found a lot of medallions. That vampire had killed a lot of witchers, and one of them was a dragon medallion.
You sure it just wasn't a fancy piece of jewelry?
Oh, that's what the villagers were saying, but we tested those medallions. They vibrated. And cast magic, so
All right, well, then
still doesn't tell.
leaning in so this conversation is not
It's probably a foreigner then.
not sort of like for the whole group, just for us and not anybody who might be overhearing.
Greg, has anyone ordered breakfast yet? Because Aris
Yes.
goes up and orders.
Yeah, I'm already
Okay,
eating.
okay. As long as there is breakfast.
There
Right
isn't-
away.
There's not a
I'm talking
menu
to
per
you, so
se.
no-
It's as soon as you sit down, there's just a tray of eggs brought over, a tray of fried meat, breakfast beer, of course, and then, various potato elements.
Okay.
What would wishers from beyond the Blue Mountains be doing here?
I guess it's as good as mine.
We,
Probably maybe the same thing Letho is doing over there.
Hmm.
Fleeing or just seeking new opportunities.
yeah. All of this is important, but we need to see about your leg and that bauble that you carry, Master Adrian. And I think Master Ezrin,
The
Eric.
Smith. The Smith.
yes.
Yes.
You also have someone else to see, I believe. But first your leg, and then perhaps some other things.
Perhaps some herbs and whatnot for potions.
Absolutely. And heaving himself up on the sword that's now wrapped in furs. Say it. And it's off to Sedaris then.
I would hope a bit of shopping first.
Yes, a bit of shopping, and then we'll take you, Master Bard, to meet that lord whose name is our lord.
Thou dost not need to know.
Right.
Details.
I haven't seen the sea in a while. It'll be nice. DM, would Varan know a doctor in Hengsford?
Sure, absolutely.
I imagine
Simon,
any doctors I would know would be dead. So
Yeah.
Dr. Simon of Hengsford.
All right. Well, Dr. Simon is a pleasant individual, and I'm quite sure that he will do well with you.
Hey, you trust him?
As much as I do anyone.
Okay. It's a bit apprehensive.
If you're at all concerned, I can definitely ensure that he does what he's supposed to. But
I want to keep the leg.
Greg, I was being good. He's occasionally a bit of a ponce, but he does well.
And then the conversation is interrupted by Wim slurping soup out of the bowl and having it dribbled down both sides of his beard. Oh,
Oh,
what's left of the fresh stubble, the day old baby stubble.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I'm used to my beard catching it for me so I can have it later. I used to just falling into my lap. Now my sheet's stained.
Well, let's introduce Master Trinian to good Dr. Simon, and we might see about getting you something stylish to wear over your sheet. She kind of wants to like guide them out.
and Ezrin is with Varan. Like, Ezrin's like, do I say something? Nope, I'm not going to say anything about this because, nope, just moving out. Says nothing about the beard or lack thereof.
So now my favorite question. You have a lot of things you'd like to do. Are you going to do them all together? Or are you going to split
the
up?
party? Is that what you're asking?
It's not really a party. I mean,
If Wim's there, it's always a party.
Right.
We want to make sure our friend's okay. We're going to go together. I mean, I can't say anything about Eris. He might hide somewhere, but you know, the intention is to go together to this Dr. Simon, since I think only one of us knows where he is.
I will go with Dusa, and see to it that he gets his leg fixed up. That's where I'm gonna go. And I'm, for this entirety while we're here, I'm not wearing armor. I am carrying knives, but no swords. I am actually blending in to the slightly better, shall we say. But yeah, I'm gonna go and make sure that Dusa is up and running. That's my priority.
okay.
As soon as we can get a cloak for Wim. Or if he has one.
We'll find one on the way. We're in a town.
So give me a list of things that you would like to do in the order in which you would prefer to do them in. Get a cloak for Wim, fix Deuce's leg, vice versa.
Doctor first.
Doctor
Okay.
first.
If he hides the medallion, then I'm okay with going to the doctor first.
Yeah.
I have the medallion tucked into my armor underneath
Oh,
my
that's
armor
true.
underneath my sheet.
Cool.
So many layers.
So many layers. You're
Like
poor
Like
dude.
an onion.
First it was the personality, now it's the exterior. Okay. Sure. So as you all go, you are quickly taken and you see the placard that denotes a medicus here in Hangsforth. It appears to be open. You know this from a distance because the door is open. It's cool out, not terribly cold. You would say it's probably in the low 50s now Fahrenheit. As you go forward, the breath is beginning to lessen. Still, when you get in the shadows between the buildings and the urban kind of valleys here, your breath will pop back out. But you're quickly inside as a young man, clean shaven, actually a rather fine shirt rolled up to the sleeve or the elbows. Well, hi, can I help? Miss!
Doctor, this is my friend. He needs your assistance.
When did you get back? Of course, you did. When did you get back in town?
Why do you need to know now?
No real reason. I just oh, your leg. And he moves over to Deuce's leg.
Greg,
Yes.
this place, I would like to not go inside with, like, I presume there's like an interior bit. I'd like to walk around the block. Has this place got a back door?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, cool. I am at the back door, just in case.
Okay, not going into the
Nope.
establishment, just staying at the back door. Sure thing. So Simon of Hangsforth takes Deuce, who helped you with this? This doesn't look great.
There's a bandit. We're escorting this bard to Sedaris.
No, I mean, obviously you didn't hurt one another. You're friends and presumably carrying one another around. I mean, who attempted to fix this?
Oh, that was us.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not doctors. We do our best, though.
How much time do you all have? Is this... He looks directly at Veron. Is this urgent? Something that needs to be done quickly? Or...
Preferably right, but...
Well, that's the real rub, because right takes a while. Quick is...
I would rather have my protection be able to stand and hold the sword.
So, right.
Right.
Okay, everything, come back after lunch.
Deuce, are you okay? Do you need him to stay? I'm assuming.
Yes, I'm gonna...
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lovely kind of... He pats it a little too hard, Deuce. This is a lovely brace, but we need to make sure that it's doing what... See, it's not on right. We need to fit it and pat it up a bit. I can see right here, you're going to get a hot spot, and so we need to... And he just continues to kind of... Almost like a vet would, you know, if you were a beast of burden and you needed to be saddled correctly. That's the kind of like grip that you're getting with this brace.
He's gonna grab his arm and... Let's see. I'm not a beast.
Simon,
Yes.
my friend, deserves your best. Remember?
Yeah, of course. I need to make sure it's on. I'm sorry if I'm being too rough.
Take your time.
Just talk to him like he's Brooke.
Roll persuasion check.
JF for me.
No, you.
Cool. Cool. Oh, I get a +1 to this. Oh, +1, so 19.
Right this way. And he extends his arm for you to take to support yourself as he leads you into a back room. Eris, you wouldn't know this, but they're getting closer to you.
Mistress Veron, you thou hast
Simon.
trust in this medicker.
Simon's a good doctor. He does well. He's sometimes a little too smart and doesn't always talk to people well, but he's a good doctor.
He seems interested in talking to thee well.
Sometimes they do. Doesn't mean I'm like to talk back.
That is fair. Although, 'tis also quite adorable.
He
In
is a
small
sweet...
dosage.
Small, very small doses. Master Tim, are you well, or do you need to consult with Doctor?
What for? I'm perfect.
Just checking. Which, by the way, you would see that Veron still looks perfect. Everything is perfectly styled. She looks stylish.
As that wound, the wound with the crossbow bolt, how did that heal?
Fine, thank you.
Simon would pull a curtain leading into the back room. Right this way. We'll work on your leg.
Mistress Veron, might there be some sort of poultice that would aid thee in thy recovery?
I'm fine. I thank you for your concern. If I need, but I do know a person that I might be able to get some other supplies from.
Mistress Veron, perhaps I should I could examine you quickly to see if you're all right.
Focus on Master Dusa, if we have time when we get back.
I can work on him and focus on something else. Multitasking.
Good try.
He smiles faintly.
She does that half smile that you all would have seen of women who are like, you're sweet, but no.
As soon as Simon sees that, he says, "Anyway, this way," as he leads Dusa to the back of his establishment.
All right. Hobble in there.
Doctor, when shall we return?
After lunch!
Couple hours.
So then, perchance we should go to a market of some sort?
Let me shout to Dusa. Dusa, do you need anything worked on? Anything repaired?
Yes.
What?
Like,
Toss it out.
toss out the. He'll toss out the bashed left leg of his armor and the bashed arm as well. It's Lyrian leather that needs some mending. And see if you can find some kind of alchemist for potions. They're in town here. We should be prepared.
Just any potions, or there's a one you're looking
Witcher
for?
potions
Why would you need those?
for ingredients. Well, because damn it, they're here.
You want to buy? So that's smart. So the witchers can't buy the potions, those dirty bastards.
Yes, exactly.
Trin takes out his notebook.
Oh, that's a funny
Shelves.
joke. You are funny.
What do you need? What exactly is necessary? I will make a list.
Consult with Varan on this because it would be
I have that list, Master Eric.
Oh,
good.
I know.
then we shall leave thee to thy work, good doctor, and we shall see thee anon, Trinian.
You can see Trinian looking for the spirits in the doctor's office. Where are you hiding it?
Simon is leading in the door frame that was covered by the curtain. Now he's looking from Dusa to Wim to Varan and back and forth with this talk of Witcher and alchemy and potions. And his shit-eating grin has gotten more profound, more secure, as he just begins to shake his head as he continues the circuit of gaze to gaze to gaze.
Varan just meets his gaze and shakes her head, like, yeah, but keep the deal.
Ezrin
Okay.
just sort of shrugs, like, "Hey, I'm just here. I'm just here."
He sort of went right past you.
Yeah.
He just
Clearly not exciting. I will head out of this sort of small, cramped doctor's office.
Okay, and as you all decide, or unless anybody's staying with Dusa, you're essentially out for the next couple hours as you are being tended to by the medicus Dr. Simon of Hangsfor. Because you have already made rolls, what this will allow you to do is, as soon as the doctor has given enough time to your condition and strengthened the brace and made it more fitting for you, you will begin to heal, as opposed to just having to live with this injury. So now you will be able to begin to heal at a certain specific period of time, and I'll roll for Simon to see how long. It shouldn't be that long, but I'll let you know whenever we can take away the penalties that you have currently associated with Dusa.
Master Trinian, if we are not back before you are finished, find us at the inn.
Right. And remember, keep a low profile.
Aye. And then he looks at Tim. And then
I'll
walks out.
help you.
walks out in front of Tim.
All right.
You
We'll be
won't-
back then. And she'll leave and look to Ezrin and Wim. Would you like to visit? I think we need to pick up some supplies before we do anything else.
Aye, agreed.
I feel like I need a cloak, obviously, unless I can pass off this bullshit. I need to get some armor repaired. Clearly some things you can imbibe. Anyone have anything in line with those?
I'm pretty sure I know a place where we can get everything you need. One-stop shopping.
How convenient.
Master Adrian?
Let him do his thing.
I do worry about him.
Me too.
Lead on, Mr. Saran.
Aye, of course.
And are we going to the alchemists?
Yes, where we can get all of the above, because I'm pretty sure that Varan knows a person, possibly a very good mensch.
Then let's.
Bestest mensch.
So as the group that has left, Eris, I will get back to you in a second. You can follow if you wish. They would begin to move deeper into the city, and a shop would present itself, a small, quaint establishment, front door with a bell, and it would ring upon entering, the placard outside indicating the profession of alchemy held within. Who goes in?
I'll enter first. Well, I'll hold open the door for Mr. Saran.
Varan, as you would enter, off to your left is a large ironclad figure. You figure that if it stood up to its full height instead of being in a seated position, it would be anywhere from 8 to 10 feet tall. It seems like a fully armored knight with no one inside. But as you walk in, the head turns.
She would just keep walking towards in the room, fully expecting the others to follow her.
And Hawk, you would hear a bell, and who do we see?
As they come in, they see an older man. Definitely has more gray in his hair than the black. Bushy beard that is more getting more salt than pepper. He is behind the counter, book open, reviewing his ledger, looking to see what deliveries he's waiting for, what other transactions that he has pending. He looks up to see who's walking in as he hears the bell go off. Greetings! Good morning to you all. How can I help you?
Well, we've come to buy some things that
Well,
you might have. Hopefully.
That is good. I am here to sell you things. Perhaps we can make an arrangement.
Yeah, do you repair armor?
Let's see. I do not myself, but I do have people that I can get in contract with that can take care of things for you. I can summon them here and be able to help you with whatever you need.
All right. How much is it going to cost?
I think you will find his prices most reasonable.
So, do you sell cloaks?
Cloaks. That I do have. If you might come this way, and Ananias walks over towards the opposite corner where there is a rack that has various cloaks and heavy jackets and maybe other pieces of clothing that people might want to use, especially for travel and stuff and things of that nature. I have a fine selection over here if you would like to take a look.
All right. I need large sizes. I'm a big gentleman.
Yes, I see. That means we will need something probably further over on this side of the of the display rack here. And I point out several large cloaks that would be more than enough to fit someone as large and manly as himself.
All right. What do you recommend? What do people like?
Are you talking for yourself or all around, or for here in town, or maybe more outside in the provincial areas?
There's cloaks for different purposes?
Well, there's different looks. There's certain styles that the people of this town tend to prefer, and there's some styles that maybe people in town don't like, but people from out of town might get to thinking that they're fitting in, but it makes it so quite obvious that they're not.
Yeah, it's not that one.
Okay. Then I would recommend this one here, and I pull out a nice big large cloak. Has kind of a fur-like look to it, but it's not actually a heavy pelt or anything like that, but definitely has a kind of a rugged outdoor look to it.
Good master, might we know your name?
Pardon me for being so rude to you, sir. My name is Ananias, and I am the proprietor of this humble shop.
Well met.
Ananias, yeah.
Well met.
It's a nice name.
I'm
Thank
Eric
you.
the Bard.
The pleasure is all mine.
I'm Tim, the man.
And quite the man you are, I can see. Shall we try this on, see how well it fits? And I take it off of the peg that the apparatus is hanging on and try to reach up to put it around his shoulders.
He kind of squats down a little bit, dips his shoulder down.
As this fitting is happening, Ezrin says, Master Ananias, as I am new to town and as a bard always interested in stories, what news out of Hangford?
The biggest news is probably some of the people who have been arriving lately. We have had some, not quite like you, they're definitely the more rugged type, but they're a little bit more of a ragged look, kind of a mercenary kind of appearance to them. They seem to be visiting some new official here who's trying to make a name for themselves here from outside, trying to, I guess, get us in line with the rest of the provincial areas around us. So that seems to be the big thing. Plus, if you really want to know about something mysterious, we've had a strange ship arrive to our docks. People are kind of calling it a ghost ship because no one seems to have expected it, and no one seems to know what it is or why it is here. Quite interesting.
Surely the harbor master must have contacted this ship.
The harbor master was there to make sure it was docked and all that, but he had no knowledge of it. He had no knowledge of its arrival. It's totally unexpected, and there's not really been anyone coming on or off, at least from what my sources tell me.
Odd. But who is this new official, pray tell?
This new official is a lady by the name of Kel Hollow.
How new?
I would say probably within the last month or so. This wouldn't ever. She's taken up residence in kind of the old theater performing hall, made that her center of activities, but it's been mostly these ragged men going, various ones coming in and out.
How many? A company's worth or more?
I've seen at least a dozen different ones or more.
Sellswords.
Probably. That is my assumption. Hirelings for something, but not sure exactly what yet.
Do they stay in her quarters as a retinue?
They come in, they come out, some stay, some go outside of the town, some of them stay in, shall we say, some of the more or less reputable inns and taverns of the town. But they don't seem to be interacting much with the townsfolk from what I have seen.
Well, has this new official had a coming out, a banquet or a ball or some such to announce herself to society?
Nope, she has just arrived and seems to be, shall we say, all business.
Well, what sort of business if one cannot have a banquet?
In a sense, I agree. It'd be nice to know who is moving in here to my fine town.
The cloak looks good, Master Tim.
Aye, lady, what dost thou think of me cloak?
It works for you, Master Tim.
Hi.
Oh, well, Ananias, what's the damage for the cloak?
Let's see, for this cloak, for someone such as you, I would say, let's see, this is newer, still in season. I'd say probably 1.5 crowns.
I've got that. Do I have that?
You should, yeah.
He digs underneath his layers and busts out 2 crowns. Can you make change?
Certainly, come over here. And as Ananias walks back towards the counter, he pulls a little coin bag out of a pocket and starts digging through. I think you'll find this more than sufficient. And with a deft flip, the coin flies in the air towards the fine gentleman.
Oh,
Very good.
What's in those bottles behind you?
Oh, these are various potions, elixirs, tonics, stuff like things of that nature. Some for healing, some for helping with other benefits, some for enjoyment, some for other forms of enjoyment. You know, just about anything we have here. Plus, I have all sorts of ingredients as well. I probably have anything that anyone might want. I have good contacts throughout the countryside to get in ingredients that other places here in town do not seem to have the access to get.
Oh, that is good. Master Ananias, we have need of herbs and other such sundries. But It seems thou hast been here in town for quite some time. Aye.
Myself, I've been here for quite a while, yes.
Methinks thou knowest the ins and outs of town.
As far as the ins and outs and activities, you might say I have a good grasp of everything that happens here.
Well, being able to meet a new official and impress them with song would be a boon to any young bard. But methinks it would be difficult to just gain an audience. Might you have advice on how those without a calling card might gain access to our new official?
Are we talking direct public access or maybe something a little more private?
Both options might be good to know.
The public would take probably some time, but there might be a way to organize something a little bit more private that might initiate things for you in a more public manner.
And he looks to Veron at her assessment of this.
Veron has been standing just out of line of view, just watching everything, and with a half smile on her face, and turns to Ananias and says, I think that he needs all of the access.
Well, then we can definitely arrange for the private very soon. And then through there, be more than once that is done. Well, I'm sure between all parties involved, it won't take long to create a more public interaction.
I'm sure. And I think that works. We are going to need, however, the full range of supplies.
Well, just tell me what you need and I shall gather it for you off my shelves.
Hawk, we have a list that has come into me, and you in the back. I will let you know this in the, instead of having to go around and pick the different ingredients, I will let everybody know that for the low cost of 400 crowns, you can have exactly what you need.
Veron would attempt to haggle. Less as a form of trying to get a better price, but more as an understanding that this is a way in which you do business, and you would be an insult to not haggle.
It's the principle of matter.
Exactly.
I would say this too. You would know that the cost is closer to 500 crowns.
Oh yeah, she knows that, but she's still gonna haggle.
Sure.
To be polite.
To be polite.
Right. As one would.
It's all part of the game.
Exactly.
Might you have good Master Ananias? Small question, but a trifle. Mightst thou have a yellow iris, or know where one might gather one?
A yellow iris. For which, if I might ask, so I can make sure I inform you properly, for what purpose would this be?
As a gift.
Ah, well then, come over this way. And we walk over to looks like a small bureau or chest of drawers, and I look over and say, how large? What size?
About so.
Ah, reaches over to the middle drawer on the left and pulls it open. For your perusal.
That one is beautiful.
Ah, very good. You have a very discerning eye. And takes it out and presents it to the fine bard.
Thou hast my thanks. Pray tell, how much?
price for this, based on the size and the quality there, I would say it will need to be at least 80 crown.
And perchance wrapped.
Wrapped, that is no problem at all.
Mm-hmm. And Ezrin goes through his pocket and counts out. He says, "Good Master Ananias, and hands over a small coin pouch.
Mm-hmm.
You will find the payment for the flour and for your information, and also thy aid is all present. And it should be 100 crown."
Okay. Ananias picks up the bag, gently holds it in one hand, transfers it to the right. Yep, that would be 100. And places it in an inside pocket of his vest.
Thou hast our thanks for aid.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as this private meeting, part of the mystery that others don't know about this ship is our fair Kel Hollow frequents the ship in the early evening before dusk. Meet me here. I will escort you to the ship, unto her.
Good Master Ananias, how long hence has the ship arrived?
The ship arrived approximately 3 days ago.
3 days. Pardon, good sir. When thou hast said ghost ship, thou means that as a metaphor.
Of course.
Surely.
As I have not been told that there are any ghosts or specters or things of that nature on there. The people at the docks have referred to me as a ghost ship because it was unknown, unexpected, unplanned for.
No sense of perhaps whence it comes? No sailor drinking in a tavern nearby with an accent perchance?
No one has disembarked from the ship other than to whoever met with the dockmaster to finalize the arrangements for their docking, and not much has been said about what he said or what he sounded like.
Good Master Ananias, methinks thou hast a good eye for craft. Couldst thou tell from whence the architecture of this ship comes, or perchance a flag it flies? Is it of northern make, or southern, or Skellige? Any sense of the style of it?
Hawk, you would know that just the scuttlebutt around town is, it sounds like a coastal or river craft with a cut and a make of either Novigrad or Oxenfurt.
Ooh.
And I relay that information. And that is, very frustratingly, all that we know.
Very intriguing. But Master Good Ananias, I thank you for your troubles.
Always a pleasure. Always good to meet new people, new customers, new friends.
How soon can you get that armor repairman here?
And as you say that, we hear the door ring. Pickens, my assistant, has already gone to fetch him, and the leather worker and armorer is walking in the door as we speak. Ah, there you are.
And as Pickens in the armor would come in, beat the shit this one is, but this evening, priority customer and all.
Yeah. Ephraim, how long do you think it will take to repair this for these fine gentlemen?
Supper.
Supper?
Beat the shit, though.
My helm is not as damaged. Hands over a leather helm, which is barely scratched.
He looks at it, and there's a noticeable divot in one of the areas. Yeah, barely can see it.
Well, if it does its job at least.
Yes.
We've got a couple things for you. Like toss Deuce's armor at him, and then if you give me a moment, you got a back room I can change.
Please, the blue sheet that you see hanging from the ceiling behind there is a changing area that you can use.
That's a nice sheet you got there.
No. No, it is not as stylish a sheet as one might think. Quality, but not for wearing.
It works good as tapestry or room divider, but as a garment, it leaves a little to be wanted.
You said I was going to use it as a garment. Anyway, I'll be right back. He goes in and then starts to remove everything. You hear unbuckling of some stuff, and then he comes out with everything back on, holding his dented chest armor in his hand. And then your nostrils catch a stinge of particular ripeness associated with the armor and with now it is uncaged, so it is filling.
As soon as Ananias hears this, he looks at the fine lady who's walked in, pulls a bottle off of the shelf next to him. Here, this might, if you can get him to put this on himself, this might help a little. And this is free of charge. Community, we shall call it community service.
Appreciated. I think I can convince someone to convince him to take a bath. That won't be me.
Why don't you just use magic?
Some things even magic can't help.
Because me using magic would not do what she has this moment of like, I could. But no, I'm not mad at you, so she wouldn't do that.
Prestidigitation is not in this system. Otherwise, it would be much cleaner.
That's everything. So, back bar this evening, then?
Yes. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Want me to? Do I pay now or do I pay when it's done?
Payment will be on completion. When he brings it back, when it is finished.
Right, well, that's a lot of good armor there. I just met you. Can I have something for collateral? Knowing that, right? That's how this works.
No, it's really not.
Well, then I guess I'll see you later.
You have my word as an honored merchant here in the city that your armor is in the best hands it could possibly be in this town. A man I would trust even with my own, and I pat my side where my old military sword hangs from my head.
Master Ananias, Dost
Yes, good sir.
dost thou have a sense of how the powers of the city feel about the new visitor, the new official?
If you talk to people out in the public, out in the squad, they like we do with everyone else, very welcoming, very warm. But in private, anything new, anything strange, anything that doesn't belong, anything that doesn't meet tradition is questioned, is looked upon with skepticism and mistrust, especially by those of us who feel that we don't need any more monitoring or government in our fair town.
Thou hast my thanks. But
My pleasure.
we shall see thee this evening
I will be waiting here.
for a boat trip.
And right before we take our break, we're going to go to an alleyway where I am going to ask a Witcher to roll an awareness roll for me, Josh.
I got you. Awareness is... That is a fumble. Oh, crap. It's... Hold on. Rolls are whispered. That is still a fumble.
It is. It's a 19 and then with a 15.
15.
So let me go ahead and roll this then. Once. You smell something strange. It creeps over the city, pushing back the smells of cooking food and a bit of the smell of the river as it's carried upon the same breeze that buffeted Varan's hair earlier. Roll me a Witcher training.
It's a 19.
Takes you a moment because, again, a smell in its purest sense, it's hard found in a city where, again, the smells, the breeze mix, much like the populace. But then you grab it. You get a pure, uncut inhalation. It smells like beggar tick. And that's where we're going to take our break as we zip out, everybody, and we will be back in 5 minutes. Everybody watching, even if you're on YouTube, go grab yourself something, hydrate, and meet us back here in 5 minutes so we can continue this lovely tale with these lovely people, yourselves included. We shall return. And hello, everybody. We are back with some more Witcher this evening as we dig deeper into our story here at Hangsforth. We have our guest Hawk with us, who is playing Ananias of Hangsforth, a local merchant with a flair for mercantile business and rumor. But we are currently in an alleyway behind Dr. Simon of Hangsforth's physician's establishment with our Witcher Eris. Eris, you have just discovered a smell among the smells of the urban landscape, smell of beggar tick. What do you do?
Take a moment, step back to sort of like better hug the shadows, and I already have one of my weapons close to hand, which I draw, and then from behind me, an ethereal like hand will pass me a second blade for a second, and I will just sit back with 2 poignards, one in each hand, close to the corner. Can I see into the doctor's surgery from my vantage point?
No, there is a back door here, but there isn't any type of way to look inside. No windows that would go to a blind alley, just for security purposes.
Okay.
You do have a door, though, but there's no window in the door.
Take a second, swap both knives to one hand, hold a finger up in the air. Which way's the wind coming from?
Let's see. Why don't you roll me a wilderness survival?
Can do. Boo-doo-doo. So, oh, that is bad. That is my second fumble. That's a 10.
South, you think?
Okay. So I would look, sort of glance in that direction. Scent is being carried probably on the wind. Figure that my target is probably in that general direction. This has been mentioned by... I'm not going meta here, am I? Dusa has mentioned the beggar tick to us.
Yes, and that being the smell that he smelled every time he was getting close to the villains. So
I'm gonna sit in my position. I'm gonna make sure I have the best element of surprise I can do. Can I? I know in combat you can do things like aim, which like ramps up. Can I try it? I've got it. I have never once used it. Can I try and craft a trap?
Fuck yeah, what do you want to do?
So, what have I got to work with in the alleyway back here? Because trap crafting is actually a thing. Like, Vipers are trained for ambush. That's how we take the shit out. And it works just as well for people. So, what have I got to work with?
Absolutely. Okay, so you got your typical alleyway here. Everything is strewn about, but it's relatively clean as it is close to a waterway. You would guess that there's probably a lot of rain that this climate would produce. And so because of that, barrels have been set up outside of each gutter. You have about 3 water barrels that are close into this area. Again, the refuse is low, but there are boxes out here that seem to be collection facility or collection implements. So you see that some of them have dry wood in them. There are logs for a fire. There's a coal bin behind the shop that's opposite the side of the physician. There's a lot of stuff in the alley, but very little junk.
Okay. I don't have a whole bunch of shit with me at the moment, so what I'm going to try and do is get up a little higher so I've got the high ground, because my friend Anakin once told me that was very important. I'm going to take the high ground. I don't have my bow with me. I do have a set of throwing knives, so I've got those, and we don't have any... Really would like to get our hands on some Hangman's venom at some point, but in the meantime, I'll get up there and I'll take some coal, some charcoal, and I would like to actually no, that won't work. Never mind. I'm gonna just get to the roof and basically just lie in wait. If there's not a lot of like places to conceal a trap of some kind, I'm gonna get up there nice and high.
Okay. Are you trying to craft a trap of any kind, or you're just going for vantage at this point?
No, I'll just go for vantage at this point.
Okay, roll me a athletics to get up there. You're going to get up there because there's enough hop points. I'm just seeing is how well you can maintain your stealth.
That is the 4th fumble in a row. God damn. Deucer. I'm trying to back you up here and you're stealing all the luck. What's that about?
You got to use your luck now. You got to use your luck. What's going on?
Would you roll that again for me?
That is a 0. That is Deucer doing.
What?
So as you start jumping up, it would normally be a very easy kind of hop and a skip and a climb to where you needed to be. All of a sudden, your foot slips. There's coal dust here upon one of the chutes. You didn't realize it was a chute. You thought it was a windowsill. And as soon as you hit it, it has that slick, kind of deceptive substance coating, and you feel your feet go out from under you. You have just enough time to think to yourself, well, shit. As you fall backwards, you crack into one of these rain barrels. You're going to take 2 damage as you kind of roll to a stop. But as you roll to a stop, in front of you, you see 2 small feet.
I will try and get to my feet slowly, feigning much more injury than I actually have.
As you begin to move, the feet begin to back off quickly. You, in your field of vision, you can still see them. They scoot back 5, 7, 10 feet.
No, give us a hand. Getting to my feet, can I see who is currently applauding me and is about to get a dagger buried in their chest?
As you prepare to bury a dagger in the chest of the 9-year-old street urchin, she looks at you, and her face on exactly one side, her left, but as you look, her right, is painted, you're not sure how, in some type of jet makeup, completely black, almost like an eclipse. And her hair on the side that it is painted jet is also dyed black, and it is shaved on the other side.
What kind of skin tone are they rocking? Like, how they look humanoid?
Roll me an awareness.
It's 23.
Not a fumble. It breaks it.
It does. You would notice that on the side that isn't painted jet black, you would notice like the light brown tones and a slight point to the ear that's exposed. You believe that this child has elven heritage.
Okay. So I'd straighten up slightly and just... The fuck are you clapping at? I'll keep my hand behind my back with the knife in it.
She smiles, and you can see that it seems more brilliant on the half of her face that is decorated dark. You asked for a hand.
You want to keep it? Fuck off.
Very well. And she produces something, flips it in the air and catches it, and begins to walk off. And as she does so, you smell an intense reawakening of the beggar tick. She starts whistling as she walks off.
Hold up.
She keeps walking.
I do like that really, really loud whistle that I will not do for everyone on stream. Are we still in the alleyway?
You are. She's moving towards the main thoroughfare, though.
I will get like a slight pace to try and intercept her before she gets there, but I still have my knife in my hand.
You would hear in your mind, "Careful."
What's your name?
Still with her back to you, you see the wind catch the side of her head that has hair and blow it, and now you can tell the wind's coming from the east. And she says into that wind as it is blown back the alley to you, "Susie Midnight."
You out here alone?
There's never just one star in the sky.
I'll take a glance, just quick check over my shoulder to make sure no one's getting her to sort of pull me away from the door so someone else can slip in to where Deucer is.
Roll me an awareness check.
Finally. It's still a 27. I'll take it.
As you turn back around, you see from the rooftops that you were headed before you fell, you see half heads of eyes looking down at you. All of them seem to bear the small orbs of children, or at least humanoid child size.
Your friend's coming down to join us?
Still with her back to you. No.
What are you doing here?
The arm extends from her side and lifts up as it's holding the bag, and she drops it. Begins to walk again.
Just to be a showy dick, Aris takes free hand. I'm gonna take one of my throwing knives and throw it just to like cut the bag to see what's in it without actually picking it up or going too close.
Sure, roll an attack for me. We'll just do a DC of 10 here because you're hitting a stationary object with no armor.
I am okay with that. Do. It's not with that, but that doesn't matter. Oh, it's 24 either way.
It hits and cuts open, and with your earlier awareness roll, you see dried beggar tick kind of spill out a bit.
I take a few sort of steps back. We'll turn and start heading back towards the doctors, looking up onto the rooftops. We take out a few coins from a well-hidden pocket, hold up a coin, and just say, "Who's hungry?"
You hear from the rooftops, though you no longer see any eyes or faces, you hear a smattering of applause. And you hear a shrill whistle from the front of the alley where it meets the main thoroughfare.
Glance in that direction.
Susie turns around, and you see her with a bow that your bard could appreciate. As she extends the hand out in a Nilfgaardian pose, a wagon rushes by, and that same hand grabs hold of the end of it, and she is whisked away.
I return to the doctors quietly.
Your coins are gone.
Oh. Wonderful. Okay. Fucking kids. Make my way back over towards the doctor's office and just sort of like tap on the back door.
Much like Billy Crystal in Princess Bride, a hatch opens in the door. What do you need?
My friend. Who's in there? Open up.
The eyes narrow. You didn't have a friend that looked like you.
We're family. Can't you tell?
The door closes. Dusa, you would hear, do you have a friend? Dark hair. Shifty.
Dark hair and shifty. Does he smell like beggar tick?
No.
Good. Yes, I do.
The hatch opens up again. You're in luck. Come in. Come. And the door opens.
I don't feel like I am. Make my way in. How's how far fixed is Dusa? How's the process? Whatever is going into him.
You're about an hour into the 3-hour process.
Does this guy seem competent? Is he? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've been patched up quite a bit over 2 centuries, so he seems above average. Yeah.
Good. So
both of you, Dusa and actually just Dusa, roll me an awareness check.
All right. Okay, I can do that. Sure. Awareness. Is it 20?
You would see as he starts to close the door after Eris comes into what is essentially the examination room. There is a box right beside the door. You see him grab a handkerchief that seems pretty big, and he just grabs it and sets it outside the back door and then closes it and bars it.
Mm-hmm. You just set a box outside. All right.
It looked like a little kind of a bundle, something you put on the... If you were an old-timey Mark Twainian hobo, you would have it on the end of a stick.
A knapsack. Yeah.
I see. Nice. Is that alms for the poor?
What does... Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know the name Susie Midnight?
Can't say I do.
Wasn't talking to you, Dusa.
No.
It's flashy.
That wasn't a no.
No, it wasn't.
What was your name? I point to Dusa.
What was my name?
Yeah, what's your name?
Well, Dusa. Hasn't changed.
And your name is?
I think I'm still Simon. There's been a lot of name changing over the past hour and a half. I'm pretty sure I'm Simon.
Right. Well, my name isn't Susie. Your name isn't Susie. His name isn't Susie.
Who the fuck is Susie?
Someone who owes me quite a bit of money. So,
yeah.
What do you know about her?
I don't know anything about a Susie. I especially don't know anything about anybody that doesn't like non-humans. I have a bit of a hatred for those that find themselves better than. So if someone were to ask me about a Susie or a dwarf or an elf or someone they don't care for because they're not like them, I would tell them what I'm going to tell you. fuck off. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's a fair response. So you're one of the good ones, right?
No, I just don't like bullies.
Huh, that's fair. Well, this has been wonderful. Fix him up, and then you and I are going to have a little chat.
I await it with breathless anticipation.
And I walk over to do so and just say, there's some kids running around out back with beggar tick.
Are they selling it or what? Are they on it?
Could be either. Anyone else know? I mean, it was less than an hour you being here, then moving past.
Well,
Just checking no one's sending a message.
it's a small town. It's not that big a city, and word's gonna spread about us, no matter how many stories we tell. And if that shithead is around here, but I don't think that's related. I mean, what happened?
There's some urchin kids out back. Caught the scent. Thought it might be a friend.
Well, I was thinking, looking at all these drugs here in the doctor's office. I was thinking if we wanted to trace that rogue witcher, that we might find his supplier and set him up.
Yeah, that might be not a bad idea.
So maybe those kids can point us in the right direction.
Sounds like a plan.
My leg's about as much better now.
Your leg is still looks like a gnarled chew toy, so why don't I keep you company in here?
Fine. I got got a lot of stuff here: numbing herbs, sterilizing fluid, wife's tears, clotting powder, and if you're into it, some fist tech.
Doc, would you finish up on my friend here?
He's in this room listening to this, and he's just going about the work, kind of fitting the brace, and believe me, as quickly as I can.
All right, well,
Do you need all that stuff?
all those things I mentioned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather leave with them, and if he wants me to pay, I can pay.
That makes one of us.
Yeah. Yeah, just a few doses, clotting powder, numbing herbs, all that stuff. I mean, we don't have a doctor with us, so
That's a shame. Tell you what, I got a pretty good supply. I haven't been raided for the war down south yet. I don't want to be, and so getting rid of my surplus might be the best idea. I can do so without taking any more of your crowns, but maybe some information.
okay. What
He
kind
would
of information would you need?
We would be looking. Oh well, we were talking about names, right? Names back and forth, and Trinian, I believe, and Dusa, and
Ah,
Tim.
yeah.
I was just curious.
Trust me, the last thing you want is information, my friend.
I love it. You know, I'm a sponge. Mistress Veron. She have any other names?
Did you like a sponge?
I forget her other name. What's her other name, Iris? She keeps mentioning it, but
It's weird. My friend here doesn't seem to be back on his feet yet.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm working as fast as I can, but I did provide a time limit. You weren't in here.
I heard.
Okay, well.
But you seem to have a lot of time to spend talking about Mistress Varan and not a lot of time to spare my friend here.
Just thought we could parlay a bit. Well, not small talk, it's business.
So you want to know her name for business reasons?
Sure.
Oh, I don't know her name. Not her last name. Then again, you could probably ask about it at her house. I could tell you where that is.
Is it? I bet you it's on the corner of fucking off, isn't it?
Well, we'd walk you there, but unfortunately my friend isn't quite capable at the moment. So maybe if we could spur this along. Although, if you do want to continue mucking about and having a chat, I do know somebody who's also pretty sweet on Mistress Varan. Maybe the information's best sold to them, not you.
Oh, maybe you misunderstood. I don't need to know her other name. I was just wondering if you knew it. And we're going to cut back to the shop.
Yes, dude. That was good. All right.
So we cut back to the shop. You all were able to leave Ananias's as everything is being put into motion for the selling, the buying, the repairing, all of that good stuff. If there's anything else you would like to do before you would leave Ananias's, you can. You've been given several bits of information from the shopkeeper, both of the recently updated Kel Hollow, who seems to be in town receiving guests at all times, and of course the mysterious ghost ship, which seems to hold markings that put it somewhere between Novigrad and Oxenfurt.
Mistress Varan, should we find the smith that might hold the key to unlocking a bauble while we're out and about?
Yes, but I don't have it, so...
Oh.
Master Adrian carries it with him. Master Ananias, I do have a question for you.
Certainly.
You haven't had anyone coming in lately buying a certain collection of supplies, or heard of anyone else looking for them?
And what kind of collection would this be?
She would then list off all of the things that would go into the trial of the grasses, without mentioning that term.
Going through everything, you would get a ping or two, but nothing that would equate to all of those things together. It's the same thing as saying, here's the recipe for chocolate chip cookies, and Ananias would provide you with flour. Yep, they got flour.
Pray tell, good sir, what about large quantities of beggar tick?
Beggar tick.
You are all sold out, Hawk.
That is a very interesting question.
I needed not personally, just...
Of course. It seems it has become quite popular lately. I am actually quite out of the substance at the moment, and I'm waiting for my next shipment to arrive. Hopefully it should be within the next few days, hopefully no less than a fortnight.
what do you use Begatic for?
Well, Master Wim, I am no alchemist, so I use it
no,
not.
I was gesturing broadly with an emphasis to Master Ananias to hopefully answer the question.
As you can see from all that I have around me, I make a specialty to have nearly every ingredient possible that someone might want for alchemy purposes, for making elixirs and potions and solutions and such. And since Begatic is an ingredient that sometimes is used, of course, I keep a limited supply in stock. But I'm all sold out currently.
I'm no alchemist, but what kind of potions does it go into that it's suddenly so popular?
You know, that is also a very good question.
Yeah.
Question I would not mind knowing the answer to myself.
Is there such a thing as an insight check?
Yeah, you can do human perception.
Empathy,
and
human perception.
Yeah, human perception if you want to see if Ananias is not saying everything. Ananias, you have stuff in Zoom chat if you need it.
Well, here we go, because that's a big old 0 bonus on that.
8. I'm checking your stuff right now, Hawk. You don't have to roll for that one because your base beats it.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to materials such as this, there is a certain amount of client and confidentiality, which sometimes is required for things such as this. Not exactly something that people want everyone in town to know that we might be using something like this.
Master Ananias, I appreciate thy confidentiality and subtlety, thy nuance. It is the mark of a businessman that can be trusted and is honorable. I might ask one question that they might...
Certainly.
That perhaps a nod or a shake of the head, no word need be uttered. But perchance I wonder aloud to my companion here, Mistress Veron, might Kelhello or anyone in her employ have had need for large amounts of Begatic, I wonder. And I look just to see if he makes a gesture, a nod, or a shake with his head.
I'm just going to say this is starting to sound a little bit like verbal combat.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just asking.
Sure. I'm just saying mechanically, if you want to enter into verbal combat, you may.
I'm giving him the choice at the moment, right? I'm not entering into verbal combat yet. I'm just offering that one could nod or shake one's head if one wanted. I'm not pressing.
Then I will leave it up to Hawk.
Perceptive minds quite often think alike.
I see.
Well then, I think we have an appointment to be getting to, and we'll be back later to keep your other appointment.
I look forward to meeting up with you all again later this evening.
It is a pleasure to do business with one such as yourself.
The pleasure is all mine, madame.
Wim's going to stay in the shop if everyone else is planning on leaving.
And like it's that beat. It's like one of the things where like the rhythm of the movement is like we all begin to move. We notice that Wim is not moving. We give one beat to make sure that it's okay. He doesn't move. We step outside. It's that it's that kind of like oh, okay.
Master
and-
Ananias.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Have you any knuckles? Perhaps silver?
Silver knuckles. Let me think. Come with me. And I lead the fine gentleman to a doorway on the opposite hallway, opposite of the room from where my counter is that I work concealed from. Open the door and motion for you to follow. This way.
I follow.
Once Wim enters, I close the door behind him. Obviously, items of such specific need and use I keep separate from the regular supply. I think you can understand why. And then I open a drawer with a variety of sizes of the item of which he requests.
You are not messing around.
I am a businessman. You do not. Without sales, you make no money. And who should be it that I should not enjoy a small fortune?
You did
Wim.
quite well for yourself. Yep.
Roll deduction for me as you see the knuckles.
Okay. I'm gonna burn 2 luck on this roll.
Sounds good.
And I'll give you a fumble here in a moment.
Okay, so the 17 down to 16, but you burned 2 luck, right? Or did you already add that in?
I added the luck, so it's at a 6. So it's
Okay.
at 16.
16 is still above a 15 for just this deduction DC. It's pretty easy to see that as you look over the knuckles, you see embossed along the flat. Some of them are spiked. Some of them are almost like walnut caps upon a grid with finger holes in them. But you begin to see a stamp on several of them. You see one of them has a wolf stamped on the side. It's very simple, kind of depressed into the silver. One of them, you see a bear, and one of them, you see a griffin.
How much for the lot?
For the whole lot.
That's going to be, but the silver's going to take it to at least 200 crowns.
Okay. For you, sir, since we're looking at a package deal here, I could give these to you for, say, 180 crown.
Oh, it's whew. All right. Let's see here. I don't know in my inventory if I know how much I have in crownage.
Let's let luck decide here. Roll me a d20. We'll add 10 times, whatever it is. You have 80 crowns.
Well, it's a bit out of my price range. Do you barter in favors?
Favors are one of the transactions you find I do best.
Is there something around town you're needing done?
In fact, one might say there is.
Go on.
When we go to the docks, you will quickly find out. And I scoop them up and place them in your hands. You help me, and I go out of my way to help you. Ananias never forgets a face, never forgets a transaction, and never forgets a favor.
Whim, roll awareness.
Okay. 2 luck on this bad boy as well. $21.
You catch the smell of beggar tick. And much like the video game where there would be a red cloud or trail leading in the direction that it grows stronger, it is directly outside the back door of Ananias' shop. And as you gain hold and attention of it, you hear movement on the other side as if someone is moving away.
You said you were out of beggar tick.
I am. I can show you where I keep it. And I can show you where I keep the extra, and it is empty as well.
And then, so is there a door to where that would be coming from? He's going to stash the knuckles, graciously nod at Ananias, and then be right back and
Certainly.
exit to where the smell is coming from.
When you enter out into the alleyway, you don't see anybody. But the smell is enough for a witcher of your renown to follow. And so as you look, you can see that deeper into the alley, moving towards the west, that smell becomes stronger until it takes a turn into an interior alley, maybe 10 meters away from your current position. It's very strong.
I'll scan the area for any potential signs of life. Am I alone in this alley? Is there, what kind of obstacles? Are there things I can throw?
With your earlier awareness, you don't see any other signs of life in this alleyway except for the occasional, bit of vermin. And especially being a bear witcher, you see the evidence of vermin life, rat scat and things like that. But you see, I rhymed that up pretty well. You see boxes, much like what Aerosol. That's pretty. I'm knocking them out of the fucking park. With your other witcher saw in the alleyway, boxes, rain barrels, a lot of things, but very little trash in these alleys.
He'll pull out the bare knuckles, slip them on his hands, stretch his fingers out, and then with is there a wall with unobstructed stuff that has boxes clear from it?
The wall that would be to where you're looking your left, that would be the wall that would share a part of the tunnel that the smell is going down.
Okay. I'll put my back against that and then kind of take small steps closer.
Are you trying to be quiet or are you trying to be fast?
Quiet.
Roll me stealth.
Okay. That's a dexterity, correct?
It is.
16.
Ahead of you, as you turn the corner, you see that the alleyway extends and then kind of dog legs, but you see light and think that at the end of this alley, it probably enters one of the main thoroughfares of Hangsford. But the smell of beggar tick is getting very profound here.
And I'll back still against the wall, still maintaining to be quiet, move closer.
Okay, so you're heading into this other alley. As you enter into the other alley, soon as you begin to kind of taking your back against the wall, as soon as you dogleg with the turn of the alley, you realize that the light that you saw was false. It was coming in between two buildings, and this is one of those blind dead-end alleys, and there's a figure standing with a hood up at the end, looking back in your direction.
Obviously noticing me. Top of noon to you.
You see the figure reach behind their cloak and flip what looks to be something wrapped. You hear a crunch as it's thrown, almost as if it's wrapped in dry leaves or like a packaged fish or something of that nature, but it's small, a little bigger than a walnut. And without any sign of aggression, no attack made, almost flicks this beat towards you, and it hits and rolls and clatters and crunches and lands about 2 or 3 feet away from you.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to calm my breath. I'm going to stop breathing, and I'm going to shut my eyes.
Roll me an awareness check.
I'll burn my last 2 luck on this. All right.
You smell the beggar tick. It's almost overwhelming. It seems to be growing stronger.
And then he'll, with his last little bit of breath, say, "What's that?"
I believe it's a warrant for your arrest, Kingslayer.
I'm no slayer, kings.
That doesn't much matter. Does it, brother? And you hear about 10 feet behind you, "No, it doesn't."
You'll, with his eyes closed and his breathing calm, he'll gauge this position. He'll inhale slightly with his nose, stick 2 fingers in his mouth, and give a very loud wolf whistle. One that only his brother would recognize.
And as this wolf whistle echoes throughout Hangsford, the equally ominous sound of blades being pulled from scabbards, and the equally upsetting signs, if you open your eyes, of 2 dragon head medallions bouncing off of a chest behind you and a chest in front of you. And as they move forward, they begin to walk with their swords up. And one of them behind drags the sword as it sends sparks into the stone. And when they pull their hoods down, you see the eyes of witchers. Another hunt. Another bear. And that, my friends, is where we will end this episode of The Witcher.
Yeah, we weren't that far away. Could we hear that? Because... Fuck.
Yep.
I feel like we should be able to hear metal music. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we should be able to hear some
right?
good hard rock. I don't know.
I want it duly noted, Greg.
What's that? What?
Greg.
Huh? What? Wait, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Rex. What?
You know what's gonna happen next, Greg.
We'll see. We'll see.
You know what's gonna happen. She heard that shit. It's gonna happen.
Let's do it.
Baran and I are in the front of the shop being like, I suppose he wants to ask for some unmentionables.
Here's what I'm gonna ask. We'll do this right now before we go anywhere. I would like everybody, Ananias included, to roll me an awareness check. The DC is stronger as the further away we go.
Hey, Greg.
21.
Greg, you know how she is, right? You know how she is?
Sure.
I'm going to tell you right
17.
now, I'm dumping all 7 of my luck in this.
Yeah, can I do that too?
I'll let y'all do it if you want to.
I mean,
Sure.
it comes back at the start of the next session, so...
Well, no, I'm going to say if you dump your luck here, you're not going to have it at the beginning of the next session.
Okay, so
Same
forget it.
scene.
Fine.
It's going to be the same scene.
I'm not doing it.
Fine. 5. I'll dump 5 of my luck, because she's already set things up for this.
I'll dump. I'm at 21. I think I'll be fine.
I'll keep it at my 17.
23.
Ananias, you hear something.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to kind of pinpoint what it is. Ezrin, you hear nothing. The sounds of life. Veron, you hear a very wolfish whistle. You're not sure exactly what that means, but you can interpret it how you will. Wim is not here. But even with the distance that is set across, Eris, as you are leaning up against the wall in the doctor's office, and Dr. Simon says, "No, do you want to know her name?" You hear your brother's "I'm about to get fucked up" whistle. And that's where we'll end it. Let's go around and talk to everybody because you're awesome. JF, how are you? Where can we find you?
I'm great. So I did not hear that. We're just clarifying that.
You did not.
Okay. Well, you can find me at Double Crits on the Twitter. You can also find me on Fridays on City of Lights with the lovely Foxhole. This was a great session. It's so full of suspense in the end. I love those street urchins. My God, that was an incredible. These were incredible. They were incredibly fleshed out. I love the whole thing with their hair and all that. I think everybody played great today. So, God damn it, wish it was next week already.
All right, brother. And let us drop down to Josh. Josh, my friend, let's get all those out of the way. Those fumbles are eradicated. How are you, my friend? And where can we find you, buddy?
How am I? I just heard my brother whistle. I know what that whistle means, and I'm standing in a surgeon's office. I don't have my sword with me, but I'm going to tell you right now. I've seen legs hacked off with saw blades like that, giving me ideas. So Wim, prepare for some fucking unconventional warfare coming their way because. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. As for me, you can find me online at roleplayers_TV on most platforms where I will be hanging out. I will be on Friday over on Encounter Roleplay doing crazy shit. Everyone thought I was crazy for bringing a gun, and now everybody loves me because I have a gun. And it's the best. Always have a gun when you're being chased by on fire, giant axe-wielding, psychopathic, tax-saying motherfuckers. Yeah, that's how you do it. Really wish I had some ammo, though, because I'm out. So it'll be fine. That's Seawall Orphanage over on Encounter Roleplay on Friday. But follow me on Twitter, and you can find out where else I'll be.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And as I often quote from Christian Slater in oh my gosh, I can't believe I forget the name of the movie right now.
Heathers?
No, not Heathers. It's Quentin Tarantino. Val Kilmer.
Legend
plays
of Billie Jean?
No.
Christian
It's the
Slater
Last
is
Unicorn.
Tarantino.
Yes, it's The Last Unicorn. Yes, that's what it is. Better to have a gun and not need it than need a gun and not have it. And so we go over to our bard because it's always better to have a bard noble and not need one. Trooper, my friend, where are you? Where can we find you?
Where I am, I'm in a state of paranoia and concern. That's where I'm at. I'm worried about all of this,
In real life?
that's happening. No, I'm fine. But I'm just saying, in the game, I feel like there's some causes for concern. You know, we're like, let's not split the party. Okay, and you're like, well, one person will go off, and then another by yourself in an alley. It's fine. Don't die. Whim, don't die. That's what we're gonna say. You can see. There's Greg where they're being like, oh no. Want to come into the alley? Sure. And you're like, want to come deeper into the alley? just right into the hole. Yeah. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter or Trooper SJP on Twitch. And on Friday at 7, I will be streaming City of Light and Shadow, a French resistance campaign with double crits as a demobilized French soldier and driver, and we're gonna see what happens next. They may go to a party. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There might be a party. I just hope that their party will not be like our party here, which involves beggar tick and street urchins and murderous people who are not friendly and are really quite rude. I'm just saying, these two brothers, they're rude. I do not approve of them at all. That's it.
I agree. Thank you, my friend. Let's jump up to Billy. Billy, my friend, how are you, and where can we find you online?
I'm doing well and remarkably calm, because Greg knows my roles. I just want to get it out there at the beginning. It's like, oh, it's 2-on-1. Whim, you're stuck in the alley with them. Well, they're stuck in the alley with me. So, you know, obviously conditions could be better, but we're going to make the best out of it. If he dies, he dies. And then, you know, in this day and age, the best you can hope for is a good story with a good ending. So, if it ends, it ends, and I'll make the best of it with what I can. If it keeps going, then it keeps going, and it's going to be great. But I'll try to do some damage in the meantime. You can find me at Bill of the Forest on Twitter. I'm in a Simba Room game on WebDM's channel at 7:30 Eastern with Greg, which is super fun. And I will break him. Yes. Yeah, this is a ball. I love playing with this crew. I love this story. I love this setting. It's just, it's a dream. Other than that, follow me, don't follow me, whatever. But have fun in your life and make good choices.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. And to my friend Prax. Prax, how are you? Where can we find you on the line?
Hey, y'all. I'm okay. Mostly. Veron is really pissed right now. Really pissed. Don't worry, she heard you, and she has a problem, and she's gonna take her frustrations out on 2 fucking assholes. That is her current plan. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But as for me, you can find me on Twitter at DeirdreDonlan or Praxagorathesmea4, as you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. I am doing a new thing. We premiered it today. It was a lot of fun. Greg came and hung out. It was a lot of fun. We're doing classics on Twitch, where we do dramatic readings of classical performances. Today was Much Ado About Nothing. On Friday, we're going to do Euripides' Alcestis, which is not quite a comedy, but not quite a drama tragedy either. It's a thing. It'll be quite enjoyable. A bunch of people from the community are involved. We're gonna have a whole big thing, and then, but I'll post on my Twitter as we're coming up to them. A bunch of people here might be participating. It'll be very special. But you can find me on Friday over on Wandering DM for some cyberpunk, as Simon ended on a cliffhanger with, Trin's going to pick her brother up from jail and him getting shot at by a cop. Yeah, do the two of you talk? I want to know.
I love Simon.
Yeah, I know.
That's it.
And then on Saturday, I'm over on Wandering DM as I run the show for some Vampire the Masquerade Nightfall. But check my Twitter because I always post where I'm going to be. And I love you all. I love this game. I love how we're doing. I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to try and help Wim. She's going to try. We'll see what happens.
I usually don't break at the end, but I'm going to tell you this. You're fucking going to be able to help, because you all have built such a great community of players here. You're absolutely going to be able to get over there and do some stuff. You all will. You have proven since the farewell with fire, you are a family. And so I will not allow a family member to fall without the rest of the family being able to act.
Or watch their death and then be traumatized. I mean, I feel like
I'm not sure I trust this.
it could go either way. You might want to torture us.
Wait, that's... Yeah, no, it was that one. It was that one, Trooper.
I want to remind people here of the people that were, at the funeral. Who was the one there when Ezekon died?
That was you, yeah.
Only Veron.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little pissed.
And super duper traumatized, but I know she won't let that slip. But finally, last but not least, as we go over to Hawk, my friend, tradition. How are you? Where can we find you, buddy?
All right, I'm Kentucky Hawkeye on most social medias except for Facebook, which I refuse to go to. You can find me Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. on Twitch on my channel for our Lego Kick a Brick Night, where we're still working our way through Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. We've got all of the Gwenpool pink bricks, and now we're going to go back after mini kits and characters and all sorts of fun things in the main quest. Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S. also, adjust your time zones accordingly, is my weekly Skyrim serial. We will be doing episode 2 of our newest serial, The Fang and the Claw, with vampires and Templars and Dunmer. Oh my! And then Saturday nights is usually Grappler's Keep by WWE Wrestling Universe, with a lot of people here on Twitch participating in matches in the ring we lovingly call the Dice Tray. But instead, you won't find me on my channel. I will be moving to the other side of the DM screen for the first time ever on the Scraticus Academy for his Academy Day. So I'm looking forward to doing that to see how well it works, and it'll even be somewhat based in a homebrew area location that I've been slowly working on and developing. So we'll see how well I can do rolling dice on the other side of the screen this Saturday, 7 p.m. on the Scraticus Academy.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. And everybody, unfortunately, with live events being canceled everywhere, I'm going to tell you this. If you're a fan of wrestling, please check out what Hawk's doing over on his channel. It's incredibly imaginative by placing virtual wrestlers of a lot of the TTRPG streamers and putting them into incredibly awesome matches and then doing color commentary. It's really, really fun. So,
and we still have the tournament going on right now for the women's singles title and the women's tag team titles. So what I may try to do is either do a broadcast later on or record one offline and upload it for VOD watching later on, because due to illness and travel and stuff like that, I've not been able to be on for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to try sometime this week before all of this to have one up there for people to catch later on, because we got to get this tournament going so I can get everything timed right for... Maybe WWE's not going to be having their pay-per-views for a while, but I'm still having mine.
That's right. the Showcase of the Immortals over on Hawk's channel. Make sure the Showcase of the Virtual Immortals. Very, very fun. As for me, my name is Greg, Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. Join us for fun things. We've got a lot of irons in the fire, but I am so happy to spend Wednesday night with these fantastic folks. It's so much, and again, that includes everybody in chat and watching on YouTube. It's just a pleasure to be able to share a story and tell one with all of you, especially in this current climate that we're in. But I once again want to reiterate that everyone should follow everybody that has just said anything here. Their links are in chat. Please follow them. They are incredible content creators and with varied projects and very whatever you. But like yourself, as Josh mentioned, horror over on Encounter Roleplay, wrestling, what Hawk's doing, classical literature with what Prax is doing. There's just something for everybody, and I just really couldn't stress enough how fantastic this whole community is, and especially these fine friends that I am lucky to call them such, that are surrounding me. As for me, just follow me on Twitter, and we can talk about whatever you'd like. Join us in Discord. The link's at the bottom if you're watching YouTube or here on Twitch. Find some people to hang out with. We've got to shelter down and have social distancing, but that doesn't mean we have to be lonely, which is fun in this day and age that we are able to stay sheltered but then make friends. And that's what I've done over the past couple years, and I can't wait to make more. So everybody, a lot of fun things coming to The Witcher. Hawk will absolutely be back. Matt is on deck too, and we've got some more surprises that are coming in the form of guests and other things. So with that being said, as the campfire goes down, there's not much left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. I'm telling you what, those fumbles are over. Josh is back next week. Guarantee it. We'll see you.